Would you believe me if I said that 95% of you go through an 11-step process to vacuum up a small pile of dust on the ground? I'll lay them all out to prove it.
First, you have to roll out the shop vac, unravel the cord, find a place to plug it in, unravel the hose, turn it on at the unit, vacuum, turn it off at the unit, unplug, ravel up the cord, ravel up the hose, and roll it away.
How'd you do? Is that you? It's me. And I personally hate that shit. So I'm gonna cut out 68% of those 11 steps and do it in 3.5. Rolling out the shop vac is the first thing to go by finding a midway location for it and extending the reach of the hose. I'm a big central workbench guy, and I've got plenty of room under here.
I'd like the unit to live on this platform, but a little problem to temporarily screw with my idea is that the shop vac won't fit. So first I'll have to take it off, cut out one end, and reinstall so she can get in and out of there easily.
The problem with island workbenches is getting power to it. Now, you may be fine with running a permanent extension cord in the expansion gap of your concrete and then taping it down or whatever, but for me that's unacceptable. Do what you do though.
I have an extension cord reel on the ceiling, but I'm not going to leave something permanently plugged into it and have a dangling cord all the time. Therefore, I'll install a power strip around my dust drop, which already has an extension cord wrapped around it that goes up and over to this outlet, which my table saw lives plugged into.
Connected to that power strip, I'm going to mount the RCV Universal from FastCap. It's like a remote control on switch.
The receiver I'll mount to the side of my bench with some conveniently placed holes and plug in the shop vac from under the bench. I then mark off how much slack I need in the cord to be able to pull the motor housing out and set it on the floor, which I would do each time I empty the bucket, and I'll wrap up the rest. You might have guessed that I don't like cords being in the way, so I installed some hooks on the bottom of the bench to keep the slack up. I can easily pull off when emptying the bin.
As long as the power button on the shop vac is on, we can just press this button. Oh! That's so cool. I've been working with this rinky-dink hose that came with the shop vac, but at only 7 feet, it doesn't really work with my new plan. So I upgraded to this 12-foot hose that came from Woodcraft. Link in the description.
Now, getting this aftermarket hose to fit requires you to pay close attention, so eyes up front. It's just friction fit. Sorry about that. Now I'm good to attach the transmitter to the business end of the hose, which I'll do just under where the various attachments would mount so I can take them on and off should I ever need to, which is practically never.
Now I've got to figure out a way to manage this new longer hose and make it easier to unravel than the previous method. The plan is to take this block and tilt it at an angle to where the hose is going to feed itself downward automatically. So I'm just going to eyeball that. It's about there. 20 degrees.
I'll cut that said 20-degree miter on the end and then mark out for another piece at about 30 degrees. My thought is if I glue that in the opposite direction to the end, I will create a sort of stop to prevent the hose from falling to the ground. That takes care of the downward slope, but I also want it to face out of the bottom of the bench for easier access. For that, I'll miter a strip of plywood and attach my hose holder to it. And any project is not complete until you have your Dooh moment. Now that I have that made correctly, I'll install it under the bench and take it for a test run. Yes, put a lip on there. Now all you have to do is pull. The new location of the shop vac, paired with the 12-foot hose, reaches most of the main working area in my shop, but it will mostly perform its duties here at this pile. Here's a hot tip. Have a logical location where you put your main pile when sweeping the floor. Mine is here so I can get everything from this block and not lose any while crossing expansion gaps. Then I'll circle the workbench around from the other side of the expansion joint and end up with a tidy little mound. Now, having sat through my theory on dust pile geography, would you say that you lost or gained brain cells? I can see it going both ways. All complete, let's look at the old and the new. First, I had to roll out the shop vac. Don't have to do that anymore. Unravel the cord? No. Plug it in? Nope. Unravel the hose, I'm going to give myself half a point because pulling on it is easier than the old method. Turn it on at the unit, another half point since I don't have to walk over to it. Vacuum, nothing to shave off there. Turn it off at the unit, another half point. Unplug? Again, no. Ravel up the cord? Only if you're a sucker. Ravel up the hose I can't do anything about, so we're stuck with that one. Roll away the unit? Not for this guy.
If you decide to do something like this for yourself, 2 pieces of advice. First, make sure the unit is relatively easily retrievable. You're still going to have to empty the dust bin, clean the filter, etc. Number 2, maybe have a second unit for the further reaches of the garage and whenever you want to do your car. Either way, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.